All right, here we go again. LP, writer and creator of the comic books Nyobi and Savage Sin. Of course, Nyobi distributed through Diamond via Antarctic Press. So I have a personal stake in all this. So we're going to be following this story very closely over the next few months as things start to unravel. But Bleeding Cool has a new article here on the Diamond bankruptcy story, and it's titled "How Much Does Diamond Owe?" I think it was like $41 million, but we'll find out. Comic book folk react to bankruptcy news. So we're going to get reactions from people within the comic book industry, whether they be store owners, convention runners, comic book personalities, companies, whoever. We're going to find out what's going on here. But we're going to look at this article, and then we're going to weigh in a little bit. So let's go ahead and read. Steve Geppy founded Diamond back in February of 1982 with one warehouse, 17 customers, and many competing distributors. Now, just a pause right here. What was interesting was if you watch Ben Dunn's video, and I do suggest everyone go check that out as he gives his initial reactions to the news, he mentions that their vendor number for Antarctic Press, this is how long they've been with them, is 21. Let that sink in. 21. Across 40 years, it beat all the competition and became the dominant monopoly in the comic book direct market. Though not according to the courts. But after it all closed down temporarily during the pandemic, publishers were free from their contract to seek alternative deals. And now Image and DC are with Lunar, Marvel, IDW, and Dark Horse are with Penguin Random House, and Boom Studios is joining them. I didn't know that. That's interesting news. Earlier today, Bleeding Cool broke the news that Diamond Comic Distributors had declared bankruptcy, as well as details on Diamond UK and Alliance Game Distributions being sold to Canadian company, that's right, us here in Canada, Universal Distribution. And all hell broke loose. And boy, did it ever. Guys, pause right there. Everyone's talking about this story. In fact, we covered this story ourselves, myself, Sam Quinton, Peter Vasquez, and special guest who came in later on the show, Draw and Talk himself, Mr. Tyler Carpenter. So, guys, you can go check that out and see everything that we had to say and more. There'll be a little card link at the top of the screen. All hell broke loose. Privately, comic book publishers and Lunar and Penguin Random House, who sub-distributed to Diamond, are trying to work out exactly how much Diamond owes them. From conversations that Rich Johnson has had, we'll be talking high 8 figures at this point, which includes the mountains of stock for publishers that Diamond keeps on hand, and now all part of the bankruptcy proceedings going forward. Alan Gill, of comic book store chain United Comics, he tells them, quote unquote, there is no one currently who can replace the services and tangibles that Diamond Comic Distributors provides. The monthly previews catalog brings all the toy, statue, and novelty products that are manufactured each month, as well as a multitude of comic book publishers in one catalog. Yes, Diamond, despite all these other companies gone, Diamond is still the Sears catalog for comics. Who else is going to step up to that? A world without Diamond Comic Distributors is definitely going to hurt not only small to medium-sized comic book retailers by limiting the access they currently have to Funko, Monogram, and other novelty bestsellers, but smaller comic publishers will have no one realistically to distribute their books. And he's right. You know, hopefully someone picks up this, aspect of the business and, really takes the ball and runs with it. Makes a touchdown. We need a big victory out of this, because immense of all the doom and gloom, there could be a silver lining. Chapter 11 doesn't mean the end. It does mean restructuring. It does mean trying to rebound. There's no guarantee that that will happen. In fact, someone on my live chat was saying earlier today that 10% of people that file for Chapter 11 actually make a comeback. So that's not in Diamond's odds, right? But like Han Solo said, never tell me the odds. So let's go see what else they say, though. Let's see what else they do tell us. Brian Hibbs of San Francisco store Common Experience reminded us, quote unquote, there are a lot of people who are actively rooting for Diamond Comics to fail. They still are. In fact, a lot of people I see right now are celebrating this. Well, your wishes appear to be coming true as Diamond files for Chapter 11. And this is going to be in capital letters here, truly dire news for the direct market, at least in the short and medium term. Say goodbye to most smaller publishers and so long for the right opportunities for majority of smaller and unproved creators. Never ever forget that the blame of this falls directly upon DC Comics, and we should never forget this or even withhold that blame. Okay, I want to stop right there. We can't put the failure of Diamond solely on one publisher. Mind you, they're a big one, maybe the biggest. But at one point they still had Marvel. At one point they still had Image, Dark Horse, IDW. I mean, the biggest publisher I think that they currently have right now would be like Dynamite Comics, something along those lines. And who's to say that Dynamite, and I'm sure Dynamite is looking into their options right now about walking away completely from Diamond. I watched Nick Barucci on Brian McClay's show Beyond Wednesdays a few times, defending his publication as well as he should, going over the business, talking about Diamond, talking about damaged books with disgruntled comic book shop owners. I've seen it all. My best wishes for Steve Geppy as well as the other staff at Diamond, and most of my reverent prayers for creators and my fellow retailers that we are all going to be able to navigate this disruption to the market. People, Penguin Random House does not want any accounts smaller than they already have. And Lunar, besides being the primary retail competition for all of us, is really, really bad at their jobs. This is the first I've heard of this. And in my personal estimation, could not possibly handle adding any more vendors. 2025 is going to be a nightmare. It's a hell of a statement from Mr. Brian Hibbs of Comic Experience. But he may not be wrong. Only time will tell. And in that move, that confused some, Gail and Jim, the comic book store Titan Comics, but not all the British comics book publisher Titan Comics, who once upon a time used to be Diamond UK, posted, what does this mean for the comic book business? Hard to tell for sure. Diamond has been losing pieces of distribution business for the last 5 years, and right now they are comparatively a minor player in the game. However, when it comes to small press comics, Diamond is one of the few viable nationwide distribution options. Well, it kind of really is the only one. Let's just put it that way. We here at Titan Comics are committed to filling our customers' orders and requests. We don't know how our Diamond orders will be affected by this filing. However, we want to assure each and every one of our customers that we will do everything that we can to acquire the comics you're looking for. Please bear with us as we navigate these exciting and turbulent events. I don't know if they're exciting. Exciting usually means it's a good thing. Remember that a Chapter 11 filing indicates an intent for the business to continue after a reorganization. And this is what everyone seems to be forgetting. We'll have to keep reminding people that it's not the end, at least not yet. We will all see where this leads us. Have a great day, and thanks for being customers. We really do appreciate each and every one of you. That's from Titan Comics. We're going to scroll down here. We have Comicron has reminded us of the history of the distributor, quote unquote. Diamond had the main role in creating Free Comic Book Day in 2002, based on a suggestion by retailer at Fly Co. Joe in my own comics and game retailer magazine. It continues to be the organizing force for the day. It says it's exploring contingencies for the event in the future. Diamond has supplied a lot of information about comic sales, and its monopoly status made it possible for Comicron to closely report how many comics Diamond sent to market. No one else reports. Diamond stopped monthly reports in April of 2022, ending a long era of transparency. But even in this latter period, Diamond was sorting and shipping more different comics than ever before due to its vast number of variants. If only a wholesaler for companies like Marvel and Image, Diamond still ran weekly reorder reports, which Comicron still shares. Yeah, Diamond stopped sharing that. They're right. Comicron was the place, or Comicron, whatever you want to call it, was the place to go to see those numbers. And you can still see those numbers, but like he said there, it only goes to April of 2022. It'd be interesting to see just exactly how, not even Marvel and DC are doing, and we've seen how AP was doing because of my showing of that, at least for a couple of years anyway. But it'd be interesting to see how we stack up to other small press publishers like a Scout Comics. Okay, Aftershock, right? I'm pretty sure they're done. Whoever it may be, Zenoscope. They're not exactly small, but they're not the big two, right? But it'd be just interesting to see where we stack up amongst all that. Here are other public reactions from across the comic book industry. So let's go have a look here. Cy Spear says, well, golly. Jimmy Palmiotti says, holy shit. I would play the voice line if I had it set up. David Macho, oof. Justin Jordan, I want to note that Chapter 11 bankruptcy is the kind that allows business to keep operating. Diamond may well go under, but this is a step to try and stop that, not throwing in the towel. Correct. Veronica Christina, crazy to see Diamond fall. They had a monopoly for so long. Rob Liefeld, this is a challenge for the industry doesn't need right now, but the industry will overcome. Hashtag Rob Liefeld for life. Thanks, Rob, for chiming in. Christian Hoffer, larger comic publishers have mostly moved away from Diamond, but this is a major blow for the industry. Eric July, who is moving differently, says, Diamond filed for bankruptcy. The quote-unquote pandemic will be to be blamed, and people will write it off due to general mismanagement. Well, I think both of those things did have an effect, Eric, just to be honest with you. But the truth is that that's a tough conversation about traditional distribution models that most don't want to have. I stated this a million times. Well, I mean, you are moving differently. We can at least say that. Adam here says, should Diamond not make it through? That all but kills small press in a direct market. Self-publish or perish. Hashtag Rob Liefeld. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah. Here's the great thing for at least in my particular situation. Let's say worst case Ontario happens. Diamond's done, it falls, and Antarctic Press, the current publishing company I'm with, no longer is distributed in the direct market, and they have to go straight to self-publish in the sense of like we're going straight to crowdfunding or whatever model they choose. That leaves Nyobi without a home in the publishing world because I only want to be published, honestly, if we can be in shops. That's been my goal since the day when I started this. That's my continued goal if I can make it happen. And that may mean, down the road having to find another publisher. But the great news is we're still going to be okay, regardless, publisher or no publisher. And I'll tell you why. Because Nyobi has been on Kickstarter for a decade. We have established ourselves as a long time running comic book creator on that platform with success, getting books out on time, answering all inquiries, doing what we need to do to have a pretty near perfect track record. And we will continue to do so. Denzin Camp says Marvel already left Diamond for Penguin Random House. Diamond is a reseller or Marvel through Penguin, so shops will have to order directly from Penguin, which I think most already did. Ben Templesmith says, don't forget, it was an idiot judge who once ruled these guys were not a monopoly. It turned out they were. And like most things, when you lack competition, you get crap. You get terrible. You get weak. The thing that caused this was a mere act of others competing. The end of an era. Who knows where we will all go from here. Sailor Poland, I'm not sure who you are, but says, to everyone trying to guilt trip me for celebrating Diamond going bankrupt, Diamond screwed over, quote unquote, a lot of small pressers, not paying them on time and making them go under because they weren't big enough to bother with. They tried strong-arming the bigs like Marvel into changing their output. They ripped off my comic shop with every order. Diamond deserves to fail. You had your chance to build an alternative. You didn't. You sided with the devil. F Diamond and F you for trying to make me cry for them. Man, strong words from Sailor Poland. See what else. And more to come. So that's it right there, guys. I really do want to know what you guys think. And I know the general consensus is that everyone is unhappy with Diamond. But do you see them as being a necessary evil, especially when it comes to small press publishers? Do you care that small press publishers are essentially going to be edged out of comic book stores, where now when you go to the comic book store, most cases, you will start to find only Marvel, DC, and Image, and maybe a couple of the others. But a lot of people they're going to get the shaft right up the ass. I mean, there's no other way to say it, you know. But I want to know what you guys think about that. Go ahead and sound off in the comment section below. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay tuned for a word from our sponsor, who's going to tell you where you can buy our comic book. Peace. Well, if you haven't guessed it, today's sponsor is me. That's right, I am today's sponsor of the video. As always, we want to talk to you about Nyobi. This time, not about the eBay store, but our upcoming Kickstarter. That's right, on February 14th. That is the day we're looking at launching. We plan to launch the fourth part of the Outbreak series, Nyobi Outbreak number 4 of 5. This thing is almost a wrap. Guys, come join us for the journey as old faces and new collide in a world that is bent on supremacy. Genome supremacy, to be in fact. And if you do come over and back our Kickstarter, the one promise I can make to you is we definitely deliver. There would be no 4-year waits for our books, okay, guys? We generally hit our estimated delivery time when we say we're going to hit it. And we always keep people in the loop. You won't be ghosted. You won't be ignored. And you'll get some great books in the process. You know, the testimonials speak the truth. I speak the truth. Nyobi speaks the truth. Come by February 14th for Nyobi Outbreak number 4. And if you do hit our eBay store, that wouldn't hurt either. Peace.